Jai Radha Jai Kunja Bihari Gopishana Vallabha Girivaradhari Jai Radha Jai Kunja Bihari Gopishana Vallabha Girivaradhari Jai Radha Madhava Jai Kunja Bihari Gopijana Vallabha Girivaradhari Madhava Jai Kunja Bihari Gopijana Vallabha Yashodanandana Brajajanaranjana Yamunatira Vanachari Jai Kunja Bihari Yashodanandana Brajajanaranjana Yamunatiravanachari Jai Kunja Bihari Yashodanandana Brajajanaranjana Yamunatiravanachari Jai Kunja Bihari Yashodanandana Brajajanaranjana Yamunatiravanachari Jai Kunja Bihari Jai Radha Madhava Jai Kunja Bihari Gopijana Vallabha Girivaradhari Radha Madhava Jai Kunja Bihari Gopijana Vallabha Girivaradhari Yogadharma Shri Harinam Srila Prabhupada Samveta Gaura Bhaktavinda Sai Gaur Premanande Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Narayanam Namaskrityam Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayamudire नष्टप्रायेष भद्रेषु नित्यं भागवत सेवया भगवतीरुत्तमश्लोके भक्तिर्भवति नैष्टिकी कृष्णाय वासुदेवाय देवकीनन्दनाय च नन्दगोपकुमाराय गोविन्दाय नमो नमः. We are reading from Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 5, Chapter number 11. Jadabharat instructs King Rahugana. Text number 7. Is it 7? Tavanayam vyavahara sadhavi Shret Kshetrajna saksho bhavati stula sukshma tasman manolingam ado vadanti guna guna agunatvasya paravarasya tavanayam vyavahara sadhavi Kshetrajna saksho bhavati stula sukshma tasman manolingam ado vadanti gunagunatvasya paravarasya tavanayam vyavahara sadhavi Kshetrajna saksho bhavati stula sukshma tasman manolingam ado vadanti gunagunatvasya paravarasya. Somebody, what is, any Matajis? What word meaning, translation, and purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada ki. What word meaning? Tawan, until that time. Ayam, this. Vyavahara, the artificial designations. Being fat or skinny, or belonging to the demigods, or human beings. Sada, always. Avi, manifesting. Kshetrajna, of the living entity. Saksha, testimony. Bhavati, is. Stula Sukshma, fat and skinny. Tasmat, therefore. Manaha, the mind. Lingam, the cause. Other, this. Vadanti, they say. Guna agunatasva, guna agunatasvasya, of being absorbed in material qualities or devoid of material qualities. Para avarasya, and of lower and higher conditions of life. Translation: the mind makes the living entity within this material world wander through different species of life, and thus the living entity experiences mundane affairs in different forms as human being, demigod, fat person, skinny person, and so forth. Learned scholars say that bodily appearance, bondage, and liberation are caused by the mind. Purport: just as the mind is a cause of bondage, it can also be the cause of liberation. The mind is described here as para avara. Para means transcendental and avara means material. When the mind is engaged in Lord's service, Savai Mana Krishna Padaravindayo. It is called para, transcendental. But when the mind is engaged in material sense gratification, it is called avara or material. In the present moment, in our conditioned state, our mind is fully absorbed in material sense gratification. But it can be purified and brought to its original Krishna consciousness by the process of devotional service. We have often given the example of Ambarish Maharaj. Savai mana Krishna Padaravindayor Vachamsi Vaikunta Gunanu Varnane. The mind must be controlled in Krishna consciousness. The tongue can be utilized to spread the message of Krishna and glorify the Lord or take prasad, the remnants of food offered to Krishna. Sevun mukehi jivado. When one utilizes the tongue in service of the Lord, the other senses can become purified. As stated in Narada Pancharatra, Sarvopadi Vinirmuktam Tatparatvena Nirmalam. When the mind and senses are purified, one's total existence is purified and one's designations are also purified. One no longer considers himself a human being, a demigod, cat, dog, Hindu, Muslim, and so forth. When the senses and mind are purified and one is fully engaged in Krishna's service, one can be liberated and return home back to Godhead. Om Ajnanatimirandasya Dhananjana Salakaya Chakshurunmilitam Mena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Stapitam Mena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamahyam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yuta Padakamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavamsha Shri Rupam Sagrachatam Sahagana Raghunathanvitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parishana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakhanvitamsha Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Presthaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swaminiti Namine Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschat Deshatarine Namo Mahavadanyaya Krishna Prema Pradayate Krishnaya Krishna Chaitanya Namane Gaurasve Namaha. He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dinabandho Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namosute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्यैव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौरभक्तवृंद। हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। मुखं करोति वाचालं पंगुं लङ्घयते गिरिं यत्कृपः तमहं वन्दे श्रीगुरुं दीनतारिणम्। I seek the blessings of all the assembled Vaishnavas so that I can speak on this verse of Srimad Bhagavatam for the purification of my heart and glorification of the Lord. Jai Shri Shri Radha Madan Mohan Shri Shri Jagannath Baldev Subhadramai Shri Shri Gaurnithai Ki Jai. So, today being Bhadra Purnima, very auspicious day. So, I just want to start with one verse from Srimad Bhagavatam, 12th canto, 13th chapter, the glories of Srimad Bhagavatam. Just 1 minute. Twelve point 13 point 11 and 12. आदि मध्य वशानेषु वैराग्याकान संयुतां हरिलीला कथाव्रत मृतानंदित सत्सुरम सर्ववेदांत सारम यद ब्रह्मत्मैकत्व लक्षणम वास्व अद्वितीयम तन्निष्ठम कैवल्येक प्रयोजनम. What is Srimad Bhagavatam? It is mentioned here. From the beginning to end, Srimad Bhagavatam is full of narrations that encourage renunciation of material life, as well as nectarian accounts of Lord Hari's transcendental pastimes, which give ecstasy to the saintly devotees and demigods. This Bhagavatam is the essence of all Vedanta philosophy because its subject matter is absolute truth, which, while not different from the spirit soul, is ultimate reality, one without a second. The goal of this literature is exclusive devotional service unto that supreme truth. So, here it is mentioned what is Srimad Bhagavatam meant for. It is meant for encouraging us to renounce this material life and describing the glorious qualities of the Lord and His devotees. And it's mentioned how this is the essence of all the Vedanta philosophy and helping us to develop love for the Supreme Lord and render devotional service. So here in this particular section of Jada and Rahugana, so we are seeing that how Jada who was himself a king, King Bharat, and we know the whole pastime where he was lifting the palanquin and King Rahugana offended him, and later Jada starts instructing him, and King Rahugana realizes his mistake and asks forgiveness from Jada, and Jada, out of his causeless mercy, he starts instructing King Rahugana. So we see that previously also Jada was attacked by the dacoits and he was neglected by his own stepbrothers. So definitely he might have met various different personalities until this point of time. But see, you see that Jada Bharat was Jada, means completely inert, like a mad person. He was not active. Um, but now, when he came across King Rahugana, then now he starts speaking uh, Krishna conscious philosophy. Until now, he didn't speak. So why? Because he saw that this King Rahugana is very receptive. Although initially, yeah, he was arrogant and proud, but later, once he asked forgiveness, he was eager to inquire and hear from Jada Bharat. So that's why Jada Bharat is, he actually is starting, he starts speaking this very valuable instructions. So, um, Srimad Bhagavatam actually, as it's mentioned, that it's the essence of all Vedic philosophy. So, uh, the essence of all most important instructions, most important histories of mankind amongst the three worlds is given here by Srila Sukadeva Goswami for all of us. He is giving the essence of all uh, which are most important for us. So we should take these instructions very seriously and try to apply in our own lives so that we can also get transformed like King Rahugana. So here Jadabharat is mentioning that how the living entity uh, in this material world wanders through various species of life, and he takes on different forms. Sometimes as human being, demigod, fat person, skinny person, and he's telling all this is caused because of the mind. Hmm? All these various different forms are actually caused because of our mind. So, and Prabhupada is quoting that how mind is a cause of bondage and mind is also cause of liberation. So, Prabhupada is quoting here two words, para and avara. Para is transcendental. When the mind is engaged in Lord service, it becomes transcendental. So, Krishna Surya Saman, Maya hi Andakar. Jaha Krishna taha Maya nahi adhikar. So, even Bhagavatam also is not different from Krishna, and it's also compared with sun. Krishna swadama upagate dharma gnana devi saha kalo nashtam drishamesha puranarko adunoditha. So Krishna left towards the end of Dwapar Yuga. So in Kali Yuga, Krishna is appearing in the form of Srimad Bhagavatam. So whenever the mind is not absorbed in Krishna, so anything other than Krishna, Krishna matter or material things of this world, absorbed in sense gratification, then we are in ignorance. So, but the moment the mind gets absorbed in Krishna's service, then it becomes transcendental. So, because one comes in Krishna's shelter, one actually gradually but surely comes out of the three modes of material nature. So, actually, how we absorb our mind and senses, as Prabhupada is mentioning here, giving the example of Ambarish Maharaj, Savai Mana Krishna Padaramandaryor Vachamsi Vaikunta Gunanuvarnane. So, mind in various places, it is compared with various things. So, in some verses of Srimad Bhagavatam, in the 5th canto itself, there is description of mind being compared with uh, various ways. I'll just read. Yeah, in the 5th canto, 6th chapter, it's mentioned Nityam dadati kamasya chidram tamanuye arya yogina krita maitrasya pratyurjayeva pumshali. So it's mentioned an unchaste woman is very easily carried away by paramours, and it sometimes happens that her husband is violently killed by her paramours. The yogi gives his mind a chance and does not restrain it. His mind will give facility to enemies like lust, anger, and greed, and they will doubtlessly kill the yogi. So, here the mind is compared to an unchaste woman. So, because the mind is currently filled with lot of anarthas, impurities. So, the mind generally tends to be attracted by lust, greed, anger, all these various allurements. So, if the mind is attracted by these enemies and gives facility to these enemies of lust, greed, anger, so as here the analogy is given, if the unchaste woman is carried away by, attracted by these paramours, sometimes the paramours kill the husband. So, similarly, if the yogi or a spiritual practitioner allows the mind to get distracted by all these various distractions, then those very enemies will kill him. Kill him means distract him from his devotional service. So, that's why Krishna also mentions Eto eto nischalati manasyanchalam astiram tato tato niyamyetad atmaniyam vasamnayat. Wherever and whenever the mind goes because of its unsteady nature, bring it back under the control of the self using your intelligence. So one way to control the mind, the analogy is given that how our intelligence should be like mother. So if a mother has a small child, the small child keeps running here and there, right? Sometimes the child will keep some unwanted things in the mouth. Sometimes the child wants to run away from the house. So the mother is always alert. Even if the mother is busy working in the house, she will always make sure that the child doesn't run away of the house or get into some trouble. So she will always keep one eye on the child. So similarly, with our intelligence, we should always keep an eye on our mind. Where is our mind? So because where our mind is, we are in that place, in that particular place, right? We are where our mind is. So that's why we also say sometimes in a school we hear this statement: physically present but mentally absent. People are there physically, but their mind is somewhere else. So, although physically the body is there, if the mind is absorbed in some material attachment, we actually go to that particular place. We are actually there. So, a practitioner should be very, very alert not to allow the mind to wander towards all this unnecessary distractions and keep it on Krishna. So, the most easy way to control the mind is by chanting the holy names. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. So Prabhupada says in one place that all accidental fall downs can be stopped by constant chanting of the holy names. Because the living entity has free will. Either he can be engaged in Krishna service or Maya service. So Krishna bolia jeev bhoga vanchat kare jhapatiya Maya. Immediately Maya is ready. It's not that Maya is not ready. After some time, when we are not engaged, then Maya will see and then later on it will catch. No, immediately, even 1 second, if we get little distracted, immediately Maya will capture. So Maya is alert, and it works through various energies. Actually, we are in the kingdom of Maya, because this material world means Maya's world. So Maya is always trying to distract us through one way or other. So that's why one should be very, very alert. And Maya distracts us or attacks us through our contaminated mind. Our contaminated mind is the instrument through which Maya attacks us. Because Maya knows that our mind is contaminated with lust, greed, anger, all these things. So the moment we take shelter of this, immediately Maya attacks. So that means as long as we have any of these impurities, uh, we are always prone to be attacked by Maya. Right? It's like a time bomb. Anytime it can explode. Or it's like a terrorist. Anytime one can attack. So that's why one should very strenuously work on removing these impurities. Nashtaprayeshu abhadreshu nityam bhagavata sevaya. So that's why every day or satatam kirtayanto mam etantascha dridhavrata. Great determination, one should constantly engage in chanting and hearing the glories of the Lord. Because Maya also is with great determination trying to distract us. Because it is her service to Krishna. Because Maya wants to check whether we are really Krishna conscious, or whether we are really willing to serve Krishna, or still we have our own selfish desires or materialistic motives. So one should not fear. Means one can have healthy fear, but not so much fearful that you forget Krishna. Sometimes devotees so much fear, so they are more fear conscious or Maya conscious than Krishna conscious. But Krishna is saying, Daivi hesha gunamai mamaya duratya. That is true. It is very duratya, very, very difficult. But then, mamevaye prapadyante maya metam tarantate. So it's Krishna only who created this Maya. Maya dakshena prakriti. He only created this, correct? And it is working under his direction. So one who takes shelter of Krishna, prapadyante, definitely Maya metam tarantite. You can easily overcome. So one should have faith that Krishna is more powerful than Maya. Sometimes we don't have faith. We think that Maya is more powerful. So we forget to understand or have faith that Krishna is more powerful, and if we take shelter easily, we can come out of Maya. Then in the next verse, it's mentioned Kamamanyur Madolobha Shoka Moha Bhayadeha Karma Bandascha Yanmula Srikuryat Konu Tad Buddha. The mind is the root cause of lust, anger, pride, greed, lamentation, illusion, and fear. Combined, these constitute bondage to fruitive activity. What learned man would put faith in the mind? So, unfortunately, we trust the mind or we follow the mind. So, we are not this gross body which we are seeing, nor are we the subtle body, the mind, intelligence, and false ego. So, sometimes, okay, we may not identify with this gross body, but many times we identify with our mind. How do we know that we identify with the mind or we put faith in mind? Because we follow what the mind says. Even in Krishna consciousness, when we come to Krishna consciousness, when we don't follow Guru Sadhu Shastra the way they have instructed us, that means we are following whom? Mind. Very simple. Like, for example, we are chanting holy names. So, what Guru Sadhu Shastra have recommended? We should chant attentively. We should avoid sincerely the 10 offenses. We should be absorbed in taking shelter of Krishna. All this is they have mentioned. But then our mind doesn't take interest or it's distracted. So somewhere I heard that our more focus is on the Sakshi Mala, no, or this counter beats, no, with to count. What do you call it? Sakshi Mala only, no? That okay. If it is only first round, no, our mind is very sad. Still, 15 rounds. Still, I have to chant. But after 15th round is the most happiest round. Our mind is so happy. Everybody is blissful, and we may not sleep also because we are coming to an end. So our mind is, we can see, means just one example of chanting, but in every aspect of devotional service, mind always tends to take us away from Krishna. As a service to Krishna, it is doing it. But we should very strenuously endeavor to keep it on Krishna. Bring it back to Krishna shelter. So until we regularly hear the glories of devotional service, glories of Krishna, His sweetness, His greatness, His all merciful qualities of Krishna, until then our mind will not be attracted to Krishna. Until then, mind will not be willing to take shelter of Krishna. So until then, we cannot absorb ourselves in taking shelter of Krishna. So actually, mind has a nature that actually you can absorb yourself, and you can actually completely forget everything around. Mind has that nature. Even materialistic people, we can see that sometimes if they absorb themselves in some activity, they actually even can become detached from their bodily needs. Like sometimes some business people, they are so much absorbed in their business, they forget lunch and other things also. Means even on a material level, if somebody is so much absorbed in some activity, they can even transcend some of the physical needs of the body. Like once I met one principal, one school principal. So she was telling that only she eats once in the evening and morning little fruits, and evening also very little. So I was surprised. We devotees eats much more. how how is she able to so much control? Then she said, no, we started our school with no students. So I had a goal that we should have at least 1,000 students in our school. So I was working so hard day and night for so many years that all these other things I actually forgot. Means it's not of much importance to me. So that is on the level of false ego, in the sense one is trying to satisfy one's ego. But even then, because one's mind is absorbed in achieving some goal, she is able to transcend some of the physical needs or even mental needs, right? So even on a material platform, if somebody is able to transcend certain needs of the body and mind, what if we are absorbed in Krishna service, how much more we can transcend the material modes. So we can observe ourselves that sometimes uh, on Janmashtami or some festival when we are fasting, so if a devotee is not engaged much, so we see that generally mind tends to go towards bodily needs. Oh, I think I should drink something, or have they made some Ekadashi Prasad, or are there some fruits? Generally, mind tends to go towards those things, or mind tells, okay, now anyway you have to fast, there's nothing to do, you better you sleep now. So, generally, mind goes to physical and mental needs like that. But if a devotee is absorbed in some service, he has lot of services, and he is very given a very responsible position in that service, and he is supposed to be there and make sure that it happens. Then we see that if somebody is so much absorbed in that service, then actually, although he is fasting, generally he forgets. His mind is absorbed, so he doesn't worry about all this bodily and mental needs, right? So, uh, so we can see that how this absorption of mind is so important. Hmm. So once we were doing book distribution on Gita Jayanti Day, and we went to one bus stand, Shivaji Nagar in Pune. So some devotees got some sponsorship to distribute at less price Bhagavad Gitas. So many Bhagavad Gitas were going. So when we get some higher taste little bit in distributing, so many Bhagavad Gitas were going that devotees actually forgot lunch, and late in the evening devotees were no, actually they brought some prasad, but then late in the evening devotees thinking something we didn't do today. Huh? Some weakness is there. Okay, we are supposed to take lunch, but we are so much absorbed in book distribution that we completely forgot even taking lunch prasadam. So we can see that how mind has this nature to be absorbed. But yeah, if you absorb yourself in Krishna, then you can transcend the material modes and you can get purified. But if you become absorbed in material activities, okay, temporarily you may be, it's not that you will transcend the material world three modes. For some time you may be, but by absorbing in material activities, you become more attached to those activities. But by becoming absorbed in Krishna's service, devotional service, you become attached to Krishna and transcend Maya. So, mind has this nature. So, while rendering devotional activities, we have to check whether we are really absorbed. While chanting, while hearing, while studying the scriptures, while rendering services. Because if you are not absorbed in Krishna and taking shelter of Krishna, then definitely our mind will be distracted. And to be absorbed in anything, you should be attracted by that particular thing, right? You should be attached, and you should be first be attracted by that, and you should be attached to it, right? So that's why hearing the glories of the Lord is very, very important. Because unless you are attracted by Krishna, holy name, Srimad Bhagavatam, all these various forms of Lord, so you will not take the shelter of Lord seriously. You will not absorb yourself. So, for example, if you are chanting Hare Krishna Mahamantra, if we considered holy name to be something ordinary, then we will never be absorbed. So, but what scriptures, Guru Sadhu Shastra are saying? Abhinnatvam Namanamino. The holy name and Krishna are not different. Nam namakari bahuda nija sarva shaktis. Right? So Krishna, with all his potencies, all his power, is personally present in holy name. So, and tatrarpita niyamita smaranena. So there are no hard and fast rules. So for taking shelter of the Lord. So we should feel, I'm so fortunate that I am getting an opportunity to associate with Krishna in the form of holy name. So when we are actually chanting Hare Krishna, we are actually requesting Krishna to please appear through his sound vibration through our ears into our heart. So suppose you are inviting Krishna in your house. How excited, or if Krishna is going to appear in your house, how excited you will be. Oh, Krishna is going to come. Oh, I should make everything clean. I should be very alert. I should be not be sleeping. I should not be distracted. We'll make sure that everything is pakka, right? And we'll be waiting with great eagerness. When will Krishna come? When will Krishna appear? Right? With great eagerness, one will be waiting and receiving the Lord. All when the Lord appears also, we'll be receiving with great eagerness, enthusiasm. Right? So then one will be very excited to receive the Lord. But unfortunately, our conditioned mind has more faith in Pratyaksha Praman. So until we see in front, we don't trust, we don't put faith. And Shabda Praman, we don't have so much faith. But actually, we should have faith in Shabda Praman. Means Lord is appearing in the sound, through sound vibration. Right? We should have equal faith whether Lord is coming physically in front of our eyes or through his sound vibration. It is the same. There is no difference. Right? So, but it's Acharya saying that holy name is even more merciful. Because you can, the holy name can appear anywhere, any place, and it is so merciful holy name that even those who are unqualified, they also get to hear the holy name or get in the association. They can also get the association of the Lord, even though they are not qualified. So holy name is even more merciful. So we should feel so fortunate and actually feel excited that today I am getting an exclusive opportunity to have one-to-one interaction with the Lord. Right? So our heart is like a house where we are trying to invite the Lord by chanting the holy names. So, but suppose Lord is coming and the one who is inviting. So when we chant Hare Krishna, actually we are inviting the Lord. But then suppose we are not attentive and we are not very eager. So it's like Lord coming and knocking the door. But then no, somebody is sleeping. Then it's like doors are closed and you are sleeping. Then what will happen? Guest will go away. Or in case if some guest comes inside also, so guest sits, and if the person who invited, so guest saying, okay, why you called me? Are you seeing sky and he's seeing here, there. So as if he's completely uninterested. So then obviously guest will think, why he has called me? He'll go away. So when we either sleep or when we are distracted in our mind, it is like that. So we are saying to Krishna, don't unnecessarily come. You're wasting your time and my time. So better you go away. So, but we should actually be really excited. Right? So when we actually render devotional service in that mood, then our mind will be absorbed, we'll be excited, correct? We'll be absorbed in taking shelter of the Lord. When we feel grateful, when we feel fortunate, then only we'll absorb ourselves. Vishaya vinivartante niraharasya dehina rasavarjam rasopyasya param drishtva nivartate. So otherwise there is no question of uh, giving up the lower taste until you get a higher taste, and until you absorb your mind taking shelter of Krishna, you can't develop any higher taste. So that is how uh, we can become Krishna conscious. So in Bhagavad Gita, Krishna talks about what is the austerity of the mind in 17.16. Mana prasada samyatvam maunam atma vinigraha bhavasham shuddhir iti etat tapo manasam uchyate. So what are some of the austerities for the mind? Satisfaction, simplicity, gravity, self-control, purification of one's existence are the austerities of the mind. So Prabhupada tells some very important points in the purport. He says, to make the mind austere is to detach it from sense gratification. So that is austerity for the mind. The mind should be so trained that it can be always thinking of doing good for others. This is another austerity for the mind. The best training for the mind is gravity in thought. Satisfaction of mind can be obtained only by taking the mind away from thoughts of sense enjoyment. So Prabhupada repeatedly mentions this aspect, that how the mind should be detached from sense gratification. 2-3 times he is saying. The best course is to divert the mind to the Vedic literature, which is full of satisfying stories, as in the Puranas and the Mahabharata. One can take advantage of this knowledge and thus become purified. The mind should be devoid of duplicity, and one should think of the welfare of all. Again, Prabhupada is telling about welfare, doing welfare for others. Then he says, silence means that one is always thinking of self-realization. Person in Krishna consciousness observes perfect silence in this sense. So like this, Prabhupada talks about some of the austerities for the mind. So when you perform such austerities, your mind will get purified and controlled. So one should try to perform some of these austerities. Although our mind doesn't like this. Mind is by nature selfish, wants to be engaged in sense gratification. But if we perform this austerity, definitely our mind can become purified. So today is auspicious day when Srila Prabhupada took sannyas. So we hear the pastime that how Prabhupada, after taking Vanaprastha ashram, left the home, and he starts writing Back to Godhead magazines and distributing them. And then at one point of time, he gets a dream of a spiritual master. Take sannyas. So Prabhupada says that I was a little fearful. But then he thought that Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur is personally instructing me to take sannyas. So Prabhupada then he decides that should take sannyas. So he takes sannyas from Keshav Pragna Maharaj. So there is a very interesting pastime during the sannyas ceremony. So actually when that sannyas ceremony was going on, so usually they perform the yagna and all while that ceremony is going on. So before that, uh, that Krishnadas Babaji Maharaj, he was doing kirtan with many devotees, loudly singing the holy name. So, but when these Brahmanas came and started this yagna and all, they said, no, you all, little stop that, or reduce your sound. We have to loudly chant this mantras for this sacrifice. So then they stopped, or like kind of reduced. So then these Brahmanas were uttering the mantras and performing that yagna. So when Prabhupada saw that they stopped kirtan, then he indicated to them, no, increase, start singing, or increase the volume of kirtan. So seeing that this Krishnadas Babaji Maharaj mentions that how that time he understood that this Bhaktivedanta Swami, Srila Prabhupada, that time is not called like that, but Bhaktivedanta Swami, how he has so much faith in the holy name. He could realize that this personality has so much faith in the holy name, and definitely this personality can spread this holy name all over the world. And as predicted or understood by him, that's what Prabhupada did. So, and we see that Prabhupada, he took sannyas especially to actually write transcendental literatures like Srimad Bhagavatam. So, from 1959 to 65 almost, Prabhupada spent a lot of his time in Vrindavan, the holy abode of Radha Damodar, and writing the commentaries on Srimad Bhagavatam, especially the first canto. So we see also first canto is quite huge, very big size, because Prabhupada's, actually we hear that whatever is required for going back home, back to Godhead, it's mentioned, everything is mentioned in the first canto of Srimad Bhagavatam. So Prabhupada actually carried this Bhagavatam sets with him when he went to West. So Prabhupada said that actually, actually Krishna is going to the West in the form of Srimad Bhagavatam and holy name, and I am simply their servant, trying to be an instrument in carrying them and offering them to all these people in the Western world. Prabhupada never thought that, no, I am going and I am going to transform people. No, he felt that I am just as a instrument of my spiritual master, going and just trying to offer this, offer Krishna in the form of Bhagavatam and holy name. So that's what Prabhupada did. First he performed Harinam Sankirtan, and then when people gathered, he invited them for Bhagavad Gita and Bhagavatam classes at the storefront, and that's how this whole movement started. So, so today is Bhadra Purnima, very auspicious day. So in 12.13.13, this verse comes specifically in relation with Bhadra Purnima. Proshtapadyam Paurnamasyam Hemasimha Samanvitam Dadatiyo Bhagavatam Sayati Paramam Gatim. If on the full moon day of the month of Bhadra, one places Srimad Bhagavatam on a golden throne and gives it as a gift, he will attain the supreme transcendental destination. So, today is a very auspicious day, either to take Bhagavatam oneself or offer Bhagavatam as a gift to someone else. So, Bhagavatam, as I said, it's not different from Krishna. So, Prabhupada says in one of the purports that by studying in the pages of Srimad Bhagavatam, one can actually realize Krishna. Krishna can be revealed through the pages of Srimad Bhagavatam. If somebody very submissively, sincerely, eagerly studies Bhagavatam, Krishna's pastimes, glories, in first canto, 6th chapter, Nardamuni section, Prabhupada mentions the heart becomes like a spiritual television where the glories of the Lord can be seen. So we can see that recently when this Mahavatar Narsimha movie came, many people got attracted by the wonderful pastimes of Narsimhadev and Prahlad Maharaj. Actually, Bhagavatam, all that pastime is there and much more also. In the movie, they have limited time, so they can't show everything. But in Bhagavatam, we see elaborately talking about Prahlad's teachings to his friends, Prahlad offering his heartfelt prayers to Narsimhadev. So many, and Lord also speaking many verses. So many aspects of that pastime. So, but actually, as I said, we can experience much more if we eagerly study and read Srimad Bhagavatam. We can get even much more ecstasy than seeing that movie. But that is only one single movie. But Bhagavatam has thousands of such movies. There is all the Lord's various avatars, Varaha, Narsimha, Lord Ram's, Kurmadev, Lord Krishna's. The entire 10th canto is filled with Krishna's pastimes. So many various incarnations, and also about his devotees like Dhruv Maharaj, Pandavas, Ambarish Maharaj. So many wonderful devotees. Right? So unfortunately, as I said, we have more faith in Pratyaksha Brahman. So only when we see, we think, oh, very nice, very nice. But when we hear, we think, okay, what? Many people don't hear only, don't read only, or don't hear only. They don't have that much eagerness to read and hear. But you can, as I said, we can experience much more, millions of times more ecstasy by studying Bhagavatam faithfully. So, and the beauty of Bhagavatam is not only we have the nectarian verses spoken by Sukadeva Goswami, Sutta Goswami, all these great sages, but Srila Prabhupada himself is sharing his transcendental ecstasies. So Prabhupada says, I am always in my books. So if you want to actually take association of Srila Prabhupada and actually experience his transcendental ecstasies, then you have to come in contact with the purports of Srimad Bhagavatam. So Bhagavatam has 18 big volumes, 12 cantos, and thousands of pages, right? Written personally by Srila Prabhupada. So you can get so much association, and by the end you study, generally we forget. Manda Sumanda means our. So again you can start. Means I am saying you can keep on reading and taking Prabhupada's association through studying Srimad Bhagavatam. So Bhagavatam actually helps us to come in contact with Krishna, his various incarnations, pure devotees, and we can actually experience their moods, their qualities. So Padma Puran mentions that how if somebody meditates on the qualities of great souls, we also get 1% of their qualities. So it's a very wonderful opportunity to actually meditate, pray, and absorb the wonderful mood, devotion of various devotees mentioned in Srimad Bhagavatam. Like how Prahlad Maharaj is so fearless, or how Pandavas, in spite of all so many difficulties, Kunti Maharani is saying that I want more difficulties. So how can someone say like that? Uh, right? Or Dhruv Maharaj completely neglected, but then how he is taking shelter of Lord and becomes completely transcendental to false ego, doesn't want to take revenge on his stepmother. He's so affectionate, completely gets transformed. So we can see wonderful pastimes of both the Lord and devotees, and which are very relevant for all of us. Hmm? So, on this most auspicious day, uh, we pray to Srimad Bhagavatam and to Srila Prabhupada that we may take this message of Srimad Bhagavatam very seriously in our heart, and regularly study and apply those teachings. As it's mentioned, Shravanam Mananam Nididhyasanam. We study, we read or hear, and we try to understand uh, how to apply it in our life. We think about it, contemplate on how to apply, and actually put it in our lives, apply it in our lives. So when we do all this, then definitely there will be transformation in our life. Uh, we can see so many examples in Srimad Bhagavatam, and we can see so many examples even in Iskcon, by Prabhupada's mercy. So many millions of people all over the world got transformed by studying Srimad Bhagavatam. So we request devotees to, if you don't have Srimad Bhagavatam, you can purchase on this auspicious day. And in case if you have, you can try to inspire others, or you can gift somebody. This is the best gift which we can give anyone, because when we say dadati pratigranati guhyamakyati prichati bhungte bhojayate chaiva shadvidi priti lakshanam. So when you give and receive gifts, those gifts also are meant to enlighten us or bring us to Krishna shelter. So this is the best gift we can give to anyone. And even sometimes we can give it as a gift to some library in school, college. So somebody may think that you put in library, will it be beneficial? So actually, uh, in one college they had kept this Bhagavatam sets. So one devotee actually took first canto of Srimad Bhagavatam and read it, and then he became a devotee. So like that, there are many examples. So it's not that if we keep in library, nobody will study, or definitely those who come in contact with Bhagavatam, definitely they will get transformed. So in case you are interested to take Srimad Bhagavatam, so you can contact Venugopal Krishna Prabhu, or our is not here, I think. Stall. Acha. Okay. His Grace Smita Chaitanya Prabhu has kept a stall also. So you can kindly contact them and take this Srimad Bhagavatam. Hare Krishna. Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Samveta Gaura Bhakta Vrinda ki jai, Tai Gaur Premanande.